Not new gear.
Guy here, excuse me, with the
Yeah. Not new guy here. It's getting kind of late, kind of tired. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick review on this computer. This is probably this is an Ultrabook, but this is probably the computer I use the most. When I'm out and about or I'm home, just because you can throw it anywhere, you can set it on top of things, it's not heavy, it's super small. It's very convenient, you know. This thing is less than an inch thick, weighs 2.6 pounds. I'll probably include the specs below, and it has, this is a Yoga Pro 3, excuse me, by the way. It is 13.3 inches. It has a QHD screen. I think it has a mobile 1.2 gigahertz Intel processor, which you may think, my watch has a faster processor than that. Yes, all phones are quad core now, or 8 or octi core, but this is a pretty quick, zippy computer. For its size, it's not slow at all. And really, I can't tell the difference between this one and I have a HP EliteBook 8570W, which is not the newest, but it has a 2.8 gigahertz quad core processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and so it's a pretty solid machine. But anyway, these yoga pads, I'll just start with the line first of all. These yoga pad lines are great because they are very slim, sturdy, and they have great hinges. And this one is the only one in this line. This computer's 2 years old, by the way. Obviously, nothing I buy is new, so I couldn't even tell you what the newest one's out because I'm not going to look it up because it's like $1,500 or something like that. I don't want to pay that. But anyway, this has the watch style hinge, and this hinge is very great. It's not very flimsy. I mean, the screen does flex if you shake it, but it doesn't move, when you're watching. The screen doesn't flop back or anything like that. And I don't think any computers have done that since 2006, or laptops for that matter. But anyway, it has a solid state hard drive. You cannot get this computer without a solid state hard drive, which makes sense. I mean, it's so slim. Where are you going to put a motor and all that stuff that's involved with a regular standard hard disk drive? So it's 256 gigabytes, and it's I know that's not a lot, but a lot of nowadays people are leaning towards cloud-based storage. You can get some much larger drives in solid state, but they are going to cost you a lot more money, and I just don't think they're worth it. I think get an external hard drive and just use that. You don't need access to all that media at once. I remember I used to be that guy where I needed everything on the same notebook. I want a hard drive that can hold everything. You definitely want to have a backup, because I've had 3 computers and I had a backup hard drive where I did not back that up. That failed and I had to go to all 3 computers, and yeah, it was a mess. But anyway, this line is great because it's very slim, it's lightweight, 2.6 pounds, great hinges, solid state hard drive, QHD screen, which is also great. And the ability, this is a convertible computer, and I have used it as a tablet. I was watching Catching Up on 24 last night, and I was looking at the show just like this. And yes, it's big for a tablet, but this is so lightweight that it's not going to be inconvenient or something you're just doing, or a function you're just using because you have it at your disposal. Because I've definitely had computers that I've done that on. But the screen is great, it's bright. I have not tried to edit video with it. I mean, you can do some photo editing. I think video editing, it would be slow on. Obviously, this has integrated graphics. It does a great job. Really, this is the best line. The Yoga series is the best line for Windows computers, hands down to me. And one of the biggest reasons is because, they optimize their systems to where startup and shutdown are, very quick, like under a minute quick. And I know a lot of computers